So we just want to thank everyone for all your generosity. 2 weeks ago when we mentioned a friend Yendi, and we have now almost raised $20,000. I think we have like $67 to go. So if anyone's feeling generous, but there might still be some flyers out here. And and we have a court date, and the lawyer feels really good about everything, so we're excited. Yeah. And this next song goes out to all the mothers out there, the most amazing mothers. Felt the warmth from inside of 1,000 loving smiles, reminding you when you were just a child. And the shimmer on the leaves in the wind, inspiring the light you have always been. And you are the most alive. And you are the most amazing people leave me
Yes, they do. So my talk title is Becoming the Love We Need. Now, I know for most ministers, Mother's Day is a very easy talk to give. Strangely, for me, it's one of the most difficult ones I write during the whole year. I know for most people, Mother's Day invokes kind of that hallmark image of breakfast in bed and loving phone calls and flowers. Last night we were at Publix at like 9:30, and I saw the most adorable thing in the world. It was a little 9-year-old girl, and she was coaching her dad on what flowers to buy. At least he had sense enough to get to Publix before they closed. 9:30, cutting it pretty late there, guy. And that's the way it should be. But for others, it's complicated. It can be complicated. Not everybody had that loving experience. And so I want to say at the very beginning, if you had it, and if it's a joyful day to you, revel in it. Enjoy it to the max. And expand that love through yourself. Make sure you take time to send love to your mom or your caregiver, and then put your hands to good work. Expand that love out in the world. Become a channel of that love. That's how you can really honor your mom. But if today feels a little bit tender, then no, you're not alone. Because Mother's Day is not just about what we receive, it's also about learning how to give love, how to open up that channel so that love can flow through us. Because unfortunately, we weren't all raised by mothers who know how to express love. And that does not make them bad people. It makes them human. Just human. And perhaps they weren't given what they needed either. Now, if being truthful, I will share with you that I didn't grow up in a traditionally nurturing environment. My mother was a very practical way of viewing life. She and Chairman Mao's wife were determined to crush any idea of romantic love in life. Her thoughts of love was that it was transactional. Men needed certain things and women needed them. And that was about it. Romantic love, she didn't trust it at all. She thought it was a fairy tale. Whenever she would drive by a car that had just married on it, she could not help but mutter to herself, "Poor fools." Thanks, Mom. Now, to be fair, she wasn't without care. She provided. She was an amazing cook. Should come as no surprise to you. She knew how to cook for lots of people. She reveled in the idea that she could cook for a lot of people and have it all on the table, at the same time, and it was all tasty and good. She had a gift of being able to feed a lot of people very well. She also had a cutting intellect. If she had been given the opportunity, she would have been a brilliant lawyer. Brilliant. But emotional warmth and encouragement, she just didn't have that. Now, as I got older, I began to understand why. She grew up in very extreme poverty and the Depression. And I think, unfortunately, she learned early on that to survive, feelings were a luxury and nothing you could depend upon. She once told me, she said, "You can't give what you weren't given." And that stuck with me for a long, long time. And The truth of it is, and when you listen to Hindu scholars and actually our scientists, they say the same thing, that we start absorbing the emotions from our mothers even before we come into the physical, even when we're in their womb. If they're nervous or stressful, we soak in those stressful hormones. And so even before they start speaking to us or interacting with us, we're drawing their karma into our lives. We're inheriting ways of coping, ways of protecting, and ways of doubting ourselves. And sometimes we carry fears that were never ours to begin with. Because even before we have language, we're learning emotional patterns. And growing up, I really thought the idea of a warm, encouraging, and loving family, I thought that was something you saw on television. I thought it was much like Santa Claus and Rudolph. They have moms on television that wear pearls to the dinner table, and dad comes in with a jacket and tie. Neither of my parents did that. So I just thought it was something that just was a kind of a literature, a fantasy. Then I saw something different. And it really wasn't until I was a young adult. I was helping a friend. He was moving from Washington to Boston. He had gotten a job as a venture capitalist for this guy you all would come to know. His name was Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney at that time was actually inventing the industry of venture capitalism. And my friend, without any degree in finances, any experience in finances, had gotten a job with Mitt Romney, and he was moving to Boston. Midway, we stopped overnight at his parents' house, which was this large colonial house. And during the night, I had settled into one of the bedrooms, and I heard his mom come into the bedroom next to me, and I could hear them talking through the wall. And she began to start sharing her feelings about him, telling him what a wonderful person he was, how proud she was of him. And then she told him, she says, "This company is so lucky to be getting you." She knew it was a lie. He knew it was a lie. But she was loving him into the best possibilities for himself. And I couldn't believe it. I was amazed. It kept me up all night long because I really couldn't believe that that was a thing, that there were people that came from that kind of family. She wasn't just evaluating him. She was encouraging, she was inspiring him. She was leading him on to greater possibilities, and greater possibilities he was to step into. Later on, he moved to Hong Kong. He became really a great wheeler. He finally sold a company to IBM. I mean, this guy went on to do huge, amazing things. But it made me realize that there were moms out there just that supportive, just that loving. Because even when we don't receive a certain kind of love, our soul can still recognize it. And our soul knows encouragement. It knows kindness. It knows safety. And sometimes the deepest healing comes when we finally experience something our hearts have longed for a long, long time. Now, my mom, on the other hand, I was in a kindergarten pageant playing a rutabaga. I was very good. And I remember on the ride home asking her how I did. You would have thought she was a reviewer for the New York Times going after Patti LuPone. Now, interesting, even though I didn't get that kind of love, there was something in my heart and soul that recognized it. When I was around 15 years old, my older sister had her first baby, and it was my niece. And when I saw my niece in the incubator, I fell in love with her immediately. She was the first person I ever completely and totally gave my heart to, without reservation. You know, family patterns can continue until someone becomes conscious enough to interrupt them. Fear gets passed down, shame gets passed down, silence can get passed down, but love can expand. Love can grow. And in that moment when I saw my niece, I made a startling decision. And I don't even know how I made it, how I came upon it. But when I saw her, I decided she would not be treated as I had been treated. I decided she was not going to be ridiculed, made fun of, that she was going to be encouraged, that we were going to see the best in her, and that we were going to do everything to make sure that she left our family feeling loved and encouraged and inspired. And strangely enough, when I told the family this is what was going to, they listened to me, and they actually obeyed me. I didn't know I could do that. I didn't know they would do that. But they did. And something shifted. It's been 50 years ago. Now she has a guy of her own. And, you know, he's now in high school. And I've been able to witness her becoming a mom of her own. And I've seen the love she's given to him, the care, the sacrifice. You know, he was a preemie, and so he came into life, I think, 1.5 pounds. And so it took a lot of effort to get him to where he's at. And she was always there. There was no night late enough, no effort she hasn't been willing to take to make sure he has gotten what he needs to get out into the world. And I think to myself, where did she learn this from? She didn't get it from the family. Where did she get it from? It had to come from a deeper source. It came from spirit. Because spiritually, we are not limited to the emotional patterns we've inherited. We can become something more than our past, more compassionate, more loving. We can become the healing part of the story. Now, I've been blessed in many, many ways. One of the best ways is by my dear prayer partner for over 20 years. And she has been that source of encouragement to me. She's reminded me of who I was, even when I couldn't see it for myself. She saw greatness in me when I had no idea of it. And that's real love. Life will find a way to bring you the love you need if you remain open. Now, it may not come looking like you think it will. You know, when I was in Atlanta, they let me have a Wednesday night class, and I would open the space up for prayer work. And I had this young woman coming in, and she was always wanting prayers for romantic love. And I would have her describe the love that she wanted to come into her life. And I finally, at one point, realized that she was describing Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt has a busy schedule. And on the other hand, you would not want to have to deal with Brad Pitt's skin regimen. I mean, he has more products than you've got room for in your bathroom. So, no. Love may not come in the way or how you think it will look, but it will come if you stay open. There was a dark period of my life. I had gone I had gone out and ran a political campaign in Lincoln, Nebraska. Lincoln, Nebraska. You know the best thing that's come out of Lincoln, Nebraska in the last 50 years? I-80. That's the best thing. So I was out in Lincoln, Nebraska. We didn't win the campaign. I ended up back in D.C. I was totally broke. I had a friend that had told me, she said, come on and stay with me as long as you want. The second day I woke up in her apartment, she and her roommate were in this vicious argument about me staying there. So I realized I had to go find another place. To find another place took every bit of money I had. I mean, every bit. I got a job at the old restaurant that I had worked at. I didn't really want to go back there, but I didn't have options. And so for 3 months, I was working around the clock. I was working day shifts and evening shifts. I would get in at 9 o'clock in the morning. I would stay till 2 in the evening at night. And I did this for 3 months trying to build up my reserves. And so this meant that I didn't have friends. I didn't see anybody. I was just working. And when I would get off, I'd have to walk home. I would walk along the Capitol building, and I'd walk through some alleyways. And there was one particular townhouse. In the backyard, they had a dog. And so here I'm at 2 o'clock in the morning walking these dark alleyways, and this dog would come up to me and would want me to pet him. And so this became a nightly thing. He would show up at the fence, I would pet him and love him, and then I began to bring in bits of hamburger or steak or anything else customers had left behind, and boy, he was waiting for me at that point. Those few moments in an alleyway in the coldest part of D.C., that was so important to me because in that lonely place of my life, that was a channel of love coming to me. And by me being willing to take time to appreciate and value that love, it opened that channel up so that it could continue flowing in my life. It continued to be a possibility. I think I could have easily just kept focused on the busyness of my life, kept focused on the responsibilities and bypassed that dog. But I think if I had, it would have shut off the love that did come for me. Now, the most remarkable part of my mom's story was the end of her life. She started having challenges, and she went to the doctor, and they gave her 6 months to live. And amazingly, she only lived for 11 more days. At the end, the house was filled with people. It was filled with people. Hollywood could not have staged a better scene than my mom's last days. People came in from all over to tell her how much and how important she had been in their lives. And I remember me and my sister, we were just amazed at this. And we couldn't believe it. And it made us realize that she was able to give something to those people that she couldn't give to those of us closest to her. Now, as it wound down and she got to the last hours of her life, she could say only one thing over and over again. And it was she could not say it enough. But for me and my 3 sisters, all she could say was, I just want you to know I love you. She couldn't say it enough. And I've thought about that for years now, because maybe love wasn't always there, and maybe she just didn't know how to express it. And it's made me realize something about what she told me about how you can't give what you weren't given. That may be true on a human level, but spiritually, it's not the whole story, because we're not just limited to what we were given. That's the message of Christ. That's the message of the Eucharist. You go to the Eucharist and here's bread and here's wine. Now it becomes body and blood. Here's just what was normal. Now it becomes something extraordinary. We go from the ordinary to the sacred. And that's what we are called to do. We're called to move beyond what we were given. We're called to become channels of the Most High. We're called to be sacred outlets of Spirit's love to ourselves and those around you. So here this morning, if you had a loving mother, wonderful. If you had a complicated relationship or something in between, the truth of it is that what you were given, you can expand through yourself. What has passed down to you can end with you. And you are not limited by what you receive, because the love you have given and even the love you want, you can expand. You can be Spirit's answer to a world in need. You can be the miracle you are searching for. You can be the blessing that you need. You can be a part of healing this world through your heart and soul, because you are Spirit's bright, shining light of possibilities. You are Spirit's love made manifest here today where you are. And no matter if you didn't get the love you need, you can become the love you need. And in doing so, you're going to heal the world. You're going to be Spirit's best answer for love, joy, and compassion. You're well on your way. Spirit is calling you on. And this is the truth in your life this morning. It's the truth in mine, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.